Second try is the best. Hi, my name is Ben Vasko, and I have no idea why I'm making this video. Well, I have the Lord told me to make this video. I don't know what he wants to do with it. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 4, soon to be 5 later this year, and I own a tile and remodeling business during the day. For the last 8 years, I've been doing music under the name Adoremus. It is Latin for we adore, or like let us adore. Yeah, I mean, you can say Adoremus, Adormus, whatever. I mean, Sanctus Real is called Sanctus Real and not Sanctus Real, so tomato, tomato, I guess. I really wanted to kind of spend some time with this video, kind of introduce myself a little bit, kind of musical journey, and then in subsequent videos I'm looking to go a little bit more in depth about these different periods of time, most specifically around like albums and stuff like that I've done. But since this one's an introduction about me, let's get started at the beginning. So I grew up late 90s. I remember my dad did a lot of cover band gigs. I would remember listening to a lot of like 90s alternative rock. So I know Collective Soul was a big one in the house. Classic rock and disco. Back to back, it would be like Photograph by Def Leppard and then Rock the Boat. But yeah, around that turn of the century, my parents really had a reversion back to the church, and they started playing in the choir, and with that they started listening to Christian music. But really what caught them is they were very much listening to so we're from Toledo, Ohio, so local Christian radio station would be Yes FM. They do a lot of rap music and more like Christian pop stuff now, but back then they did a lot more like the rock and stuff, a lot of like sort of tooth and nail stuff. So I remember them, would listen on the radio. They'd play like 1,000 Foot Crutch, Anberlin, Family Force 5, Falling Up, The Wedding, Sanctus Real. My dad really liked Audio Adrenaline. Yeah, I sort of like grew up listening to a lot of that, and I would always, sing sort of melodies in my head. I remember like my dad said like once I was like mowing the lawn or something like that. You could just hear me like just singing random stuff like the tractor or whatever. But it wasn't until I was like 12, 13, maybe even 14 even. I was just like, wait, you can actually like you can write your own songs. And I don't know why that never occurred to me. I was like, oh, I should try that. So like I had just turned 15. I remember it was my freshman year of high school health class. So that was like the tail end of, or actually the beginning of the second semester. I was sitting in the back of class, my assigned seat, and during like free period, and I would just write lyrics on notebook paper. And I would just come up with melodies in my head. I wrote a lot of songs that way. Around that time, like next year, my dad got me a guitar, and I learned how to do noodle a bit and drop D. By then I was playing drums and stuff like that, like in band, and then got a drum set and stuff years before then. So my dad also got like a recording interface for like me and my brother and himself, and we all noodled around, and I made a crappy song inspired by Enough to Let Me Go by Switchfoot. I did a video where I was playing all the different instruments all in the same video and sort of overlapped it. It doesn't exist anywhere, I don't think, anymore. Thank goodness. Just went from there. Sophomore year, started the band with a couple friends. We recorded some sort of demo stuff, put it onto YouTube, called like Light Crusade, and then turned into Fall of Jericho. Although they went into college and band broke up, and so I started doing my own sort of thing called the Stairwell. Put out an EP in high school called the Quiet EP that I recorded myself, and Then put out another CD called The Loud EP that summer. Did some shows under that name for a couple years. Opened for some cool acts. I opened for notable ones like Icon for Hire, Children 18-3. I would do crazy things with that band. I somehow like managed to get backing tracks from my own recordings, and I would swap between like drums and guitar in the middle of songs, like during instrumentals and stuff, and would sing the entire time. I was out of my mind. Still am. Got some other members. They left the band, and then I was getting pretty fed up at that time about like no results, not happening on my time, And so local pop punk band was forming. They were auditioning vocalist. I tried out. I got it. So I fronted a pop punk band called Cross My Heart for about a little over a year and a half. We put out an album. It was a lot of fun. Blew out my vocals a ton. Did like a release tour. Played the Emerson Theater in Indianapolis to 2 people. I don't know how we got that. But eventually I just sort of like did this thing where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this much anymore. I ended up, position was open in a local post-hardcore band. I was listening to a lot of screaming sort of music at the time. So yeah, played guitar in a band called Castle No Kings. Did that one, played with them for about, I guess it would have been about a year and a half as well. That was a lot of fun, a lot of great memories. Did a couple small tours with them. Still friends with those guys to this day. But towards the tail, I got married in 2017, had my first daughter at 2018. But even before then, I was feeling a pull towards doing Christian music again. It all kind of culminated in shifting dynamics in the band. I had to call there. My daughter was born. One of the members lost his dad suddenly to cancer. I knew I had to move on to the next thing. So got another friend in the scene to take my place. And so I started, really hunkering down and writing Autoramus. Started Autoramus, hunkering down and writing music for that. Wrote an EP and recorded it that summer called Consumed. Put it out that winter. The following year, I got hired as in charge of music and liturgy for a church. Got fired 3 months later. Praise the Lord. At the time, I was absolutely gutted and depressed, betrayed by it. I had picked up a couple band members in Autoramus by that time. We were all depressed out of our minds. We wrote an EP, turned into an album called Weaving Fire. Released that in the midst of COVID. Had a member change during that time. Following year, we met my now producer, Jake Rye. We recorded a number of singles with him between 2020 and 21 and 25. Recorded with a full lineup for 3 singles. Then we parted ways for faith differences, and then I did a couple with a good friend of his, Logan Whitty. And then I did a couple singles where I tracked and mixed everything, and then Jake mastered everything. Definitely my best recording experiences to date, which sort of, brings me up to today in 2026. It's been a crazy time, and the Lord has been there throughout, and in especially difficult seasons. It was hard to see, but he was always there and always willing everything for my good. So after this, I'd like to, as I said at the top of the video, I'm going to go more in depth about the different sort of CDs, where I was, my thought process on lyrics, and going sort of deep into that. If you're here at this point, thank you for sticking around. If you're interested in hearing more about what I have to say about my music, like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. God bless.